Hi everybody and welcome back. So today we're going to be looking at the Arbiter RTA by OXVA and designed by Justin Lay. Now Justin Lay, I recently found out, was actually the creator of the Zeus X. So now he's created his first RTA with OXVA, and this is the Arbiter. Now this is a 28 millimeter RTA, but that is basically with the bubble glass. It's actually 26.5 on the base of it, like the very bottom of it. And then it bulges out depending on the knurling and then the bubble glass. So this does hold 6 or 7 mils of e-liquid capacity with the bubble glass. It holds 4 mils with the straight glass that comes with it, and it has top airflow. Now the top airflow is actually bottom airflow. The way that Justin designed it is that it's actually going down and going under your coils and then coming up. So it's technically bottom airflow, but with top airflow design. So we're going to go down, we're going to take a look at it. I'm going to show you everything that it comes with. Then we're going to put a build in it. We're going to come back up and we're going to talk about it, pros and cons. So let's go look at the Arbiter RTA by OXVA and Justin Lay. Okay, so here we are with the OXVA Arbiter. This is a 28 millimeter RTA. It does say 7 mil capacity. I got it in stainless steel, leak proof, 100% bottom airflow. This was actually designed by Justin Lay. And this is the box that it comes in. On the back, you're going to get some kit contents and then, of course, a scratch off authenticity. Inside the box, you're going to get this user manual. You're going to get a straight glass. With the straight glass, it holds 4 mils of e-liquid. With the bubble glass, it's 6 or 7 mils. On the box and on the front of the box and the back of the box, it says 7 mils. On the website, it says 6 mils. A baggie of goodies. You're going to get some Allen keys, extra grub screws. You're also going to get a 510 drip tip adapter, which I think is great. You're also going to get some extra O-rings, and then you're going to get this key. Then you're going to get this bag here. This actually comes with 2 coils. The coils are actually marked here. These are Nichrome 80 coils. These are they look to be fused Claptons, and they're 0.4 ohm resistance, and that's what the specs on them are, and they are 3 millimeter inner diameter coils. Then you're going to get your RTA. Now this is a 28 millimeter RTA, but it's actually 26.5 on the very base, and then it bubbles out with the bubble glass to 28 millimeters. On the bottom, it does have a 510 and it does protrude, and it does say designed by OXVA, and this is the Arbiter RTA. It does come with an 810 drip tip. It's kind of like a little shorty, so if you have your own 810 drip tips, you can actually use them on here. It does have a raised platform for the drip tips, so it might raise up just a little bit, but I do like the looks of it. It actually looks like those drip tips that come with the stainless steel bottom. It does have top airflow, and it's a quarter turn, so just turn it, open it, and there you go. Now, the one thing I love about the top fill here is the fact that it's got this catch cup here. So no matter if you are filling it really fast and it comes out a little bit, it's always going to go right back into it, either of the fill holes. So I really like that. Then you've got the airflow on the top. It does have the OXVA symbol here, and then you've got airflow. Now, don't let that fool you, because it does look like it's got top airflow, but this is actually top to bottom airflow, and I'll show you a little bit more about that. Now, on the bottom, it does say OXVA here, it says OXVA there, it says OXVA here, and it says OXVA there. It's got a little over branding on it, but it's still, you can't really see it with the knurling unless you're looking really close. To get into the RTA, what you're going to do is just unscrew the bottom like this. I will tell you that the O-rings that come with this, with the bubble glass only, it's very loose. As you can see, it doesn't really hold on too tight. But if you change it out to the straight glass, it's a little bit more secure. It holds on a little bit better. But they need to be a little bit thicker for the bubble glass, especially if you're going to be taking out your build, because it will come off. So we definitely need some thicker O-rings for this. Now, inside, you're actually going to get a removable chamber. This chamber does have an O-ring on it that fits on the inside there. But what happens is that once you put it on the deck and you screw it in, it'll fit in there. So you don't have to worry about it coming off while it's all put together, but it does fit in there really nice. But I'll show you more about this. Now on this, the airflow actually comes from the top. You're going to see the top airflow is right there. It's going to come from the top. It's going to go down the side, and then it's going to go underneath the coil by these openings here. So for instance, here is the deck right here. We'll go more over the deck, but this actually sits over it like this. So you're going to have the chamber over it like this. That is going to be, right here is going to be your wicking channels. And then right here is going to be where your coils are. The airflow is actually going to go underneath here and then come up right here. So it's like in sort of in a slant, or like a ski, or I don't know what you want to call it. So it's gonna come up and it's gonna hit underneath your coils to get you that bottom airflow type of flavor and airflow. So it might be top airflow on the top of the RTA, but it's actually bottom airflow the way that it's designed. Now, if you notice, this deck is very, very familiar. It's actually like the BTFC and also the bulk RTA, which is one of my favorite RTAs. Very simple to build on. On this side, this is going to be your positive post, and then this is going to be your negative post. And this is just for drop-in coils, so you can literally drop them in and then clip them on the bottom. And then these here are your wicking channels. Now, I do suggest anytime that you have the deck that's floating above where the e-liquid goes, not to put your cotton all the way down. You definitely don't want to do that, especially being that these are going to be higher up coils. You want the e-liquid to be able to come up because they're going to be cotton hanging down a little bit faster. So you want to make sure not to put it all the way down, because that's going to delay the process of it wicking with the capillary action. But we're going to go ahead and build on this. And yeah, so let's go ahead and put this on a mod. Okay, so I've got this on the Velocity mod with the 510 adapter, and we've got that on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to be using my own coils today. I'm going to be using my Fused Claptons by Coil Clout. These you can get at coilclout.com. If you use the coupon code Wendy, all caps on one word, you actually get a discount. I'm just going to pull out 2 coils. Really, really easy. These are my favorite. Also, the Alien V3s are my favorite. Those are like the main 2 that I use all the time. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and unscrew these grub screws. Let's go ahead and loosen up the grub screws. I'm just going to go ahead and unscrew it like this. Really, really easy. Nice threading on these. Okay, and like I said before, it's going to be really, really easy to install the coils. So I'm going to go ahead and install the first one. Basically, all you need to do is just pop them in the hole like that. And it's in. Like literally it's in. So I'm just going to lift it up just a little bit like that. And screw this down. Now we're going to screw the other one down. There we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and put in the other coil. And again, just drop them right into the holes. There we go. And then just lift it up just a little bit. We're going to screw those in. And we'll adjust them once they're all in. So we got that one in. And then we got this one in. Okay, and then to adjust it, all we need to do is just go ahead and take our screwdriver. And actually, they're kind of perfect. This one just needs to be up a little bit more and they're good to go. So all we need to do now is get our handy dandy cutters and just cut them right from the bottom. I'm just gonna go ahead and cut it right there. That one's done. And then the next one. Oh, and then do the next ones. Get them done. And that's all you need to do. Now all we have to do is dry fire the coil. So I'm just going to grab my ceramic tweezers and let's go ahead and start dry firing them. There we go. Just a little bit, not too much. And you can also pinch them. This one. There we go. Okay, and there we go. We've got them heating up from the inside out. So all we need to do now is wick her up. And for today's cotton, I'm going to be using my Kendo Vape Cotton Gold Edition. I absolutely love this cotton, so that's the one I'm going to be using. Go ahead and pull that through like that. If you pull from both ends, it actually goes through a lot easier. Perfect. Perfect. I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. Put that one through like that. And then pull it through. And we've got it even on both sides. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and fluff out the ends. This is really, really important. An RTA is always, the biggest part of an RTA is usually the wicking, especially if it's a bottom airflow RTA. You know, when it's got the airflows on the bottom, because then you can have leaking. In this case, you're not going to have leaking, but you can have gurgling if you don't wick it right, or you can have dry hits. So you want to be careful with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut it right here to the bottom of the threading. like that. There we go. Just to the bottom of the threading. We're going to be thinning it out just a little bit more. And do the same thing for this side. And then again, right to the bottom of the threading. Right there. And I always fluff my ends no matter what device, because that way it's with the capillary action, it's gonna come up easier. For this, being that the cotton is gonna be coming down, the juice is gonna be hitting it so low and then traveling up so high with your, because your coils are higher, you definitely wanna make sure that you don't have too much wicking in, and you wanna make sure that the ends are thinned out. So what I'm gonna do is just go ahead and put this one in the wicking channel. I just want it to peek out. I don't want it to like be fully out, but I want it to have some room so it's not choking. Okay, so it's in there like that. And then I'm just going to go ahead and do the same thing here. Okay. I'll just give it a little trim. Then I'm going to do the same thing. Just go ahead and put that in the wicking channel. And when you're done, it should just be peeking out the bottom. And that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and get some e-liquid on this. So what we're going to do is go ahead and prime up the coil. So I'm just going to raise this up a little bit. So I'm just going to drip some on and then pulse. We want to make sure that we're getting the cotton saturated within the coil. That's really, really key. That'll actually cut down any type of, some people have break-in time for their cotton. I never have any break-in time for my cotton because I do it this way. So you don't have to worry about that break-in time. And then we could just wet the ends just a little bit, like that. A little bit on this side. I just like to clean it up a little bit. So we got plenty right there, and just put this back in there. There we go. Now, don't forget the chamber. The chamber is really, really key in order for this to happen. Now, again, with the chamber, the airflow is going to be coming down the underneath the coil. So it's going to be coming down the side right here where it's flat, coming down the side, and it's going to be going in here and underneath your coil to give you like a bottom airflow experience. So once you have that on like this, all you need to do is just basically take your top cap and just screw it down. It's going to lock right into place, which is really, really good. And just screw that into place like that. Get the cotton off of here, and then we can fill this up. Again, it holds 6 or 7 mils of e-liquid. Not exactly sure. Because of the fact that the booklet actually say one thing, but the actual website says 6 mils. So I'm just going to go ahead and pour that in there. Okay, and there you go. And then just put this back on, quarter turn, and it's closed. So there we go. There is the Arbiter RTA by OXVA, designed by Justin Lay. Let's go ahead and go on top. We're going to have a vape on this, and then we're going to talk pros and cons. Okay, so here we are back on top with the Arbiter RTA by OXVA and designed by Justin Lay. So let's go ahead and have a vape, and then we're going to talk more about it. Okay, so first of all, I have to tell you the flavor on this is superior. The flavor on this is actually so amazing. It literally, the flavor is literally like a bottom airflow RTA. You're getting a lot of that juiciness of your vape. Now, this is supposed to be like a 28 millimeter RTA, but really it's 28 millimeters after the base. The very, very base is 26 millimeters. And then it bulges out to 28 millimeters and 31 for the bubble glass. So this has top airflow. That's a plus because it's virtually leak proof, but it's got bottom airflow. So that right there is going to be a pro to me because that is giving us tremendous, tremendous flavor. I'm getting flavor, juicy lips all day long with this. It's absolutely amazing. I do have this on my Velocity from OXVA. And it works together. I've got the 510 adapter on it, and it works beautifully together. Now, for this, it does say on the box, it's got on the back of it and on the front of it with the sticker, it says 7 mil capacity, but online it says 6. I don't have any way to measure that, to be honest with you. So I'm guessing 6 to 7. I'm hoping 7 because I really like a lot of e-liquid capacity. So I'm going to put I'm going to go with 7 because that's what the box and the stickers say. And I'm going to say that that's a pro because it's got good e-liquid capacity. Now, would I want more? Of course, Wendy always wants more. Now, this has a very, very simple build deck. It's actually the same build deck as like the bulk RTA and also the BTFC that came out, the RDA that came out. Those were actually designed by Vape and Fagan. And so I love the bulk RTA. The bulk RTA is actually one of my favorite RTAs of all times. So I really, really like it. So I love the deck on this for sure. The difference that they made on that though is actually the airflow. With the bulk RTA, it didn't, you know, come in from the top and go down. It actually had bottom airflow. In this case, they did change the airflow where it's got like a ramp to go right underneath your coils to give you that bottom airflow flavor and experience. And I really, really like that about it. Another pro, very, very simple to build on. You literally just put your coils down, you cut your leads. You don't even have to make sure that they're cut too close to the posts. So that's awesome. It comes with coils, it comes with cotton, another pro. It comes with a bubble glass or a straight glass. If you like straight glass, they do have a straight glass that comes with it that holds 4 ml capacity. So you can, if you want it to look a little bit different, you can do that. And it takes an 810 drip tip, which of course is great. Plus it comes with a 510 drip tip adapter. Definite pro in my book because some people just don't like 810 drip tips. So they have that. Another pro for me, and it sounds like a small little thing, but I really, really like it, is on the top fill. When you're filling it up, it's actually got like a little well there. So if you accidentally like fill it too high, or fill it too fast and then it has a little bit of pullback, it's going to go in that well and it'll still go down. Or if you're not paying attention and you have it a little bit crooked, you're not going to have any worry of it going in because anything that goes in that little well will go down the fill ports. So I think that that's also great. Quarter turn to open it. I think that's awesome. Being able to open it so easily, you don't have to worry about unscrewing it. So that's another pro. And again, the flavor is just immense. I know exactly what this e-liquid tastes like, and it tastes great. Now, on to my cons, and then we'll have a little discussion, if you will. Now, the first con I'm going to say is going to be the O-rings. The O-rings on both samples that they gave me are both red. So I've got a black with red, and then I've got the stainless steel with red. I'm not a fan of the red, to be honest with you. But, I mean, my bulk RTA came with a red and black. So yeah, so I mean, I've gotten it before, but I would have preferred it to be a different color, whether it be clear or black. I think that it would have been better to have them black, to be honest with you, but that's just my personal preference. Now for me, the bubble glass is very, very loose on here. So whenever I go to rewick it, I have to be really, really careful because that bubble glass comes off really easily. So they definitely need to improve the top O-ring. The bottom one has perfect tolerance, but that top one does not. And all they give you are red O-rings. So, and that is the exact same size. So there's no use to go ahead and change them out if it's going to be the same exact O-ring with the same exact tolerance. With the straight glass though, it fits perfect. It's got perfect tolerance. So that to me definitely needs to be fixed right away because it comes off too easy. And this should be an RTA that you can build on it and you can wick it without having to empty your e-liquid, you know, from it. So for me, it's a little bit too loose. So I want to mention that. Another thing is that I don't know if it's 7 mils or 6 mil capacity with a bubble because you've got online, you've got 6 mil on the box and on the sticker, it says 7 mil. So I'm not exactly sure. So they need to just even that out. And also in the manual, it doesn't give any specs. That I really, really like to have. I would rather have the specs on the user manual so that I have it for you. You know, the height and the width and everything else, I really, really like to have that, or the dimensions. I really like to have that for you. And I don't have that. Another little pet peeve of mine, it's not necessarily a con, it's a suggestion to OXVA, is not to have over all this branding. Having OXVA 4 times on the bottom, you really don't need that. Plus you've got the OXVA symbols here. Being that it's got the logo here and then you've got Arbiter there and then you've got, it's just a little bit too much. If they would have just toned it down with the outside branding, I think it would have been great. They could have put OXVA on the other side of Arbiter and been done with it. So again, that's just a pet peeve, just a suggestion. It's not really a con because it's not going to affect the flavor or the build quality or anything like that. That leads me on to my next con. I would have, not con, it's For my preference, I really would have liked a little bit bigger e-liquid capacity. Being that this has like a top to bottom airflow, you're not having to worry about your mouth being too far from the coils because it's giving you that bottom airflow. I really think that they could have done like 8 mil capacity and it would have made this absolutely perfect for my vaping style. So I would have loved that because 8 mil capacity minimum is perfect for me. It's easy to fill, easy to wick, easy to build. Machining on it is great. Everything else to me is really nice. The flavor on here, like I said, is just amazing. It really is. I'm just like my biggest con is that O-ring on here because I love RTAs. As a matter of fact, everybody was requesting for me to actually do this review because of the fact that I have a love for RTAs. Now, also, another thing I want to mention is I went online to see what colors that they had, and all the ones that they're showing online have black O-rings. So I'm guessing that they're going to change them out to black O-rings, which I think is a phenomenal idea. So that's definitely another huge plus if they're doing that. But they have to change that O-ring too. That O-ring, the width of the O-ring, or the width of the O-ring really needs to be changed because it's very, very loose on the bubble glass, and a lot of people like bubble glass. Again, with the straight glass, no worries. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for my review. I'm really, really happy that I got this for a review. I did reach out to find out if I could get this because I received so many requests to do this particular review. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and have another couple of vapes. Let me close down the airflow a little bit. I love the open airflow. That's another huge pro I forgot to mention. The airflow is perfect for me. Absolutely perfect. I'm an airflow hog. I love lots of airflow, and it works for me beautifully. I'm actually vaping this at, what am I vaping it at? Like 74 watts. But I've cut down the airflow halfway, so I'm going to go ahead and have another vape. Still great flavor, still great airflow. It really works for me. The airflow is really, really good. When you cut it down, it's still a really good airy vape, but it's not like in your face airy. I personally like it all the way open though. Now, just, you know, as a suggestion for everybody out there, when wicking this, it's key. Wicking is key for this RTA. The reason being is because if you put too much cotton in there, it's not going to wick efficiently. It's not going to wick quickly. And if you're a chain vapor, that could be an issue. For me, I like to thin it out so that way with the capillary action, it'll reach the coil a lot quicker. And it's not going to have so much time for it to actually get saturated. If you put too much cotton in there, it's going to take a while for that to saturate up to your coil. And it can possibly give you a dry hit. With the way that I have this wicked, with the way that I have this built, I'm having no issues. Another thing that I do want to point out, the first time that I built on this, I actually put the coils high like I did on the other RTA that has the same build deck, but you have to remember that chamber. I was getting atomizer short, and I'm like, why am I getting a short? Why? It was because my coils were touching the top. So they do have to be pretty low down and in for it to fit into that chamber because you really can't see the top of it. So if that happens to you, at least you know how to fix the issue. You're going to have to go in, take out your cotton, lower down your coils, make sure that they're not hitting the posts or each other, and try it again, and that should work. Again, that was my very first time with that loose chamber. I've never had anything that came out and you put it on and then you put it together, or you can put it in, then you can put it in. But for me, I like to take it off and then just screw it down, as you saw. But yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take 5 quick pulls on this and show you how it's wicking. So here we go. Absolutely no dry hits. I'm getting flavor for days. I'm really getting a lot of flavor. It's just giving me immense flavor. That's it. So again, you want to thin out your cotton. You don't want it to peek through too much. You want it to peek through just barely through the wicking channel, but not too much, and it'll wick really efficiently. I've had no issues, but they call me the wicking queen anyway. So, but I've had no issues with this giving me a dry hit, feeling like it's going to give me a dry hit or anything like that. It wicks really efficiently depending on how much cotton you have in there. If you have a problem where you're getting dry hits, just go back in there, thin it out, cut it just a little bit so it's showing like I showed you down below, and you're going to be golden. I promise you. You won't even have to take it all apart. Just work on the wicking. For me, wicking on RTAs can be finicky. And I tell that to everybody. If you don't get it on the first try, it's okay. It really is. Wicking on an RTA does take a little bit of practice, so don't get worried if that happens to you. So yeah, so that's pretty much it for my review. Other than that, it does come in 5 different colors. I'm going to go ahead and leave the colors up here for you. I really wish I would have gotten that rainbow. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for my review. Let me know down in the comments, what do you think of the Arbiter RTA? Did you get one? Are you vaping on one? Have you built on one? What are your thoughts on it? Leave it down in the comments. And if you're not already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right there. And don't forget to give the video a like if you liked it, an unlike if you didn't. And I will see you on my next one.